What's going on, sports fans? Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports. Talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. And shout out to all the other guys on YouTube who are doing this sports analysis thing, man. I'm telling you, coming up with content day in and day out is definitely not an easy task. I want to salute to all the YouTubers out there continuously coming up with that hot content, whether it's sports or, we have a lot of dating coaches and all those other things on YouTube for your entertainment. Shout out to those guys, baby. Today is Super Bowl 53. Now, Auburn will have 3 players who will represent in the Super Bowl, and they're very unlikely players that you probably kind of halfway forgot about. Number 1 is Brandon King. Brandon King is a defensive back for New England, and guess what? He never played a down at Auburn. One thing about Bill Belichick is he's very good at dissecting talent. Maybe he was one of those guys that kind of fell through the cracks while he was at Auburn. As a matter of fact, I remember seeing him on New England's roster some years back, and I was thinking, man, he never played. I never saw him hit the football field, yet he was able to take his talents and go to the next level and actually has earned himself a NFL championship ring. Shout out to Brandon King, former Auburn Tiger that none of you all ever knew about because he never hit the football field in the 2 seasons that he played for Auburn. Number 2 is Mr. Johnathan Jones. I don't know if you all remember Johnathan Jones before, but just in case you forgot, Auburn had a 2013 SEC championship team in which Johnathan Jones played a very key role as cornerback on that SEC championship team, especially in the game that I think turned that whole season around against Texas A&M against Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel did light Auburn up for a significant amount of points. Matter of fact, Texas A&M scored 41 points in that game, but Johnathan Jones, I want to say, had a key interception in helping to turn that game around, and that's the game where we found out how good Nick Marshall really was. He really solidified himself as a huge dual threat quarterback en route to a 2013 SEC championship victory and a national championship appearance where Auburn lost within the last few seconds by 3 points to the Florida State Seminoles. Big shout out to Johnathan Jones, who was also obviously with the New England Patriots, and he's actually working on his 2nd NFL championship ring. He also was fortunate enough, as we said before, to be an SEC champion and a world champion with the New England Patriots. And last but not least is Mr. Blake Countess. Now, Blake Countess was a cornerback who kind of was at the beginning of the whole transfer portal thing as we know it now. He was a graduate transfer from Michigan to Auburn, was recruited by Will Muschamp, and I want to say he was the beginning. I think he probably started the beginning of the publicized transfer ordeal, where it was like a free agency type deal in college football, and Auburn really greatly benefited from the efforts of Blake Countess, as he was very productive on a, I wouldn't say necessarily an anemic defense, but the defense was actually a huge improvement from what it was prior to Will Muschamp's arrival. And you could tell based on the way they played, if Will Muschamp would have had a little bit more talent on that football team, on that particular defense, then I think they would have fared a lot better. But for what they had, they did really good on defense. Just didn't have the talent. But like I said, Blake Countess was a very good addition. And the good thing about Blake Countess is that he was very versatile. I mean, he could play the nickelback, he could play free safety, and he was pretty good as a boundary cornerback. Very versatile in the defensive backfield. And like I said before, man, we have 3 Auburn Tigers who are going to be representing in the Super Bowl this year. Look out for those guys. Brandon King, I think, is number 35. Johnathan Jones is number 31. Can't think of what Blake Countess's number is for the LA Rams, but you got 3 Auburn Tigers that are going to hit the football field in hopes of getting a Super Bowl ring. Once again, it's Case Through the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, talking about SEC football and those Auburn Tigers. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang. After you're done with this, like, comment, and subscribe. The channel is growing by leaps and bounds. I want to give a nice level of appreciation to all the subscribers that I have so far, and continue to tell your friends about what we're doing over here on this channel. You all have a great day.